In the days when the judges ruled Israel, it was a dark and uncertain time. There was no king in the land, and everyone did what seemed right in their own eyes. During this season of spiritual and social chaos, a severe famine struck the town of Bethlehem. The fields dried up, the grain disappeared, and families were pushed to the edge of survival. Among those affected was a man named Elimelech, his wife Naomi, and their two sons, Mahlon and Chilion. Faced with hunger and desperation, the family made a difficult decision. They left the land God had promised to Israel and journeyed east to the foreign country of Moab, hoping to find food and a future. But what began as a journey for survival soon became a story of sorrow. Elimelech died in Moab, leaving Naomi a widow in a strange land. Still, she had her sons, and for a time, they were a comfort. The sons married Moabite women, Orpah and Ruth, and life seemed to settle into a fragile normalcy. Then tragedy struck again. Both Mahlon and Chilion died, leaving Naomi without her husband and without her children. 3 women were left alone, widows in a society where a woman's survival depended on male protection. Their grief was deep, their future uncertain, and their hope nearly gone. Lord had visited his people and restored food to Bethlehem. With nothing left to lose, she decided to return home. She urged Orpah and Ruth to remain behind, to start new lives among their own people. Orpah wept, embraced Naomi, and returned. But Ruth clung to her. With unwavering resolve, Ruth spoke words of loyalty and faith that would echo through generations. Do not urge me to leave you or to turn back from you. Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Ruth chose faith over familiarity, commitment over comfort, love over fear. Together, Naomi and Ruth arrived in Bethlehem at the beginning of the barley harvest. The town buzzed with whispers. Naomi, once full, now returned empty. Her grief was so heavy that she said, "Do not call me Naomi. Call me Mara, for the Almighty has made my life bitter." To survive, Ruth went out to glean in the fields, picking up leftover grain behind the harvesters, a humble provision God had made for the poor and the widowed. Unknowingly, she entered the field of Boaz, a wealthy and honorable man, a relative of Elimelech. When Boaz arrived and noticed Ruth, he asked about her. Upon hearing of her faithfulness to Naomi, he was deeply moved. Boaz showed Ruth extraordinary kindness. He protected her, provided her water and food, and instructed his workers to leave extra grain for her. Ruth was overwhelmed. Naomi recognized the hand of God at work. Boaz was not just kind. He was a kinsman redeemer, someone with the legal right to restore their family's land and future. Following Naomi's guidance, Ruth approached Boaz at the threshing floor in humility, asking him to spread his garment over her, a request for redemption, protection, and covenant love. Boaz responded with honor and integrity. Though willing to redeem Ruth, he acknowledged that another relative had the first right. He promised to settle the matter the very next day. At the city gate, before witnesses, the closer relative refused. Boaz then stepped forward, publicly declaring his intention to redeem the land and take Ruth as his wife. Joy replaced sorrow. Boaz married Ruth, and the Lord blessed them with a son named Obed. Naomi held the child in her arms, her bitterness transformed into joy. The women of Bethlehem praised God, saying, "The Lord has not left you without a redeemer." Obed became the father of Jesse, and Jesse became the father of King David. And generations later, from the line of Ruth, a foreigner, a widow, an outsider, came Jesus Christ, the Redeemer of the world. Closing reflection. The story of Ruth reminds us that God is always working behind scenes. Even in loss, even in waiting, even in silence, redemption is being woven. What looks like the end may only be the beginning.